But God gives us this command because it's His nature to forgive, and His nature of forgiveness is for the same reasons that ours should be, beyond just simple fairness. Sometimes we have that relationship and we accept someone back and we sort of say, okay, yeah, I forgive you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone's told you were forgiven, or where you've told them you were forgiven, and you've kind of said, okay, well, we can be reconciled, but not really? Have you ever seen that? Have you ever been in that situation? I've done it. I think most of us do that. We still want to hold it. We still want to remember it. Right? We'll still bring it up in those situations. Well, remember the time when there's a bitterness of our hearts because of a lack of forgiveness, a bitterness and a coldness that haunts our relationships, that comes in between. And then when things get tough, when the hard times come, even when it's nobody's fault, that bitterness and that coldness suddenly drives you into conflict with one another all over again, because you haven't forgiven that person. Right? This root of bitterness is allowed to remain. Right? Anyone pulling weeds in their yard this spring? Right? What do you have to get? You have to get the root. Right? I have this little knife thing that you can go in right next to that dandelion, and you go, you kind of turn it around and you pull it up and you get that nice big root, and you know, yeah, that dandelion's not coming back. But if you try to pull it and you just get it just pops out, and only the part above the soil comes out, then you know that it's just going to come back next week. And we leave a root behind, right? We give this surface level treatment of forgiveness, but we allow that root of bitterness to remain. And it poisons our hearts, and it poisons our relationships. It impacts us, and it impacts our relationships. And God doesn't want that for us. He doesn't want that in His relationships. That's why God wants to extend forgiveness. He made us to have fellowship with Him, and He's going to have that fellowship with us. And when mankind betrayed Him, when mankind fell into sin, He said, well, I'm going to have that fellowship with my creation one way or the other. And He sent His Son to die so that He could have that fellowship He intended to have. He was not going to allow our sin to get in the way of His purpose for the world.